timer. I like to time myself so I don't talk forever and ever. Hello, the wake up. It's Ashlee Escobar. I'm multitasking tonight, guys. I usually only do these videos on here, but I wanted to go live on Facebook. And so I had them on the screen and I'm multitasking. Anyways, let's get right into the topic that I'm recording for tonight. The energy update is about today's full moon in Virgo. And if you don't know what a full moon represents and why that's important and how you can utilize it in your everyday life, check out the shorts videos and you will watch a little short clip there to find out more. But what I will say briefly is that it impacts your emotional body. The moon represents your emotional body. And all week long, there's been a lot of emotions coming up because the moon, I'm not going to lie, I love Virgos, don't get me wrong, but the Virgo is not a favorable sign for the moon to be in. But with challenges and irritable energy, you can learn a lot, right? Especially if you were like me, who was very impacted all week long. And usually leading up to full moons, people are either really high vibing or not so high vibing. And I tend to be on the high vibing side, but that was not the case this week. So we always have lots of energy going on and lots of transits happening. We just transitioned into Pisces season, my fellow water element sisters. And tonight, the moon is in Virgo. What does that mean? First of all, it's a chance for us to get realigned. And I feel like at this point in life, we always need to be realigning. And if there were some key words that the full moon represents, these are the words that I would use. Reflect, okay? So you're gonna wanna do all of these. Reflect, let go, expression. During full moons and leading up to a full moon and a few days after, we become very expressive. Now that could be in a good way or a bad way, but it's up to you to watch yourself, your thoughts, your words, and your actions towards yourself and other people. Connection. During full moons, there's a pattern you'll notice that you strive or aim for, or subconsciously you're not even aware of it. You're kind of like reaching out or wanting to communicate more or connect more with your people. And your intuition is increased because the moon is ruled by Cancer's water element, and they're very, very, very intuitive. So your intuition is heightened. So now let me tell you that all the characteristics of the moon are impacted by what sign it's in. So internally, you could have felt, now there's always duality, but because Virgos are very organized, they're very much about structure and order and clarification, seeking those things, okay? That's how you could have been feeling internally. Now, if you were somebody that was impacted kind of opposite to help you learn lessons about yourself, you could have felt out of order, not organized, kind of all over the place and like a chicken with its head cut off. That's how my godmother, who was a Virgo, was. She used to run around trying to do 1,000 things and achieving that organization and order, but in a very chaotic way. And so you could have felt like that maybe internally or even externally this week and today and the next few days. But creating routine and structure is super, super important because it leads to consistency, right, guys? And it's very important that this Virgo full moon is trying to remind themselves and everybody else that structure and routine doesn't have to be down to like the time blocks, that it still needs flow. And Virgo energy, being earth element, has a hard time with that sometimes, being able to flow like their opposite element, water. And so whenever you're trying to lean into something and learn the lesson, you're going to want to do the opposite. And so you pick up the patterns and you recognize this. Now on the external side, or maybe even the internal part, you may have been really lacking or being extra cautious on nourishing your body. So what do I mean by that? Maybe you were kind of eating extra like crap, treating your body like crap, not sleeping well, because let's face facts, if anybody knows Virgos, they run on very little sleep. When they do get a sleep, their mind is very hard to turn off. My dreams were off the chain all week long. I slept and woke up very tight because I felt so stiff during my sleep. And just wanting structure in your life. Maybe you felt like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's next. Maybe you had a project that feels like it's going in circles and it's not gaining any traction moving forward. But that is all happening to help you learn a lesson and teach you things. It's about not getting frustrated and caving into the ego of yourself and staying calm, staying grounded, breathing, talking to somebody about it. Fun fact about Virgos, and I noticed a lot of people doing this week in the collective. Virgos, when they're stressed out, they are of service to other people in general. But when they are stressed out, they go into more service to other people to kind of avoid their own stuff. In a good way, but it can be harmful, right? Because anytime you're avoiding or suppressing your own stuff, you're just making it harder for yourself, and that self-sabotage. But I think Virgo's kind of like the bad pain, if you will. So do with that information with what you want. So obviously, depending on you and how the energy hits you all week, today and 3 days after this, you're going to want to lean into creating the opposite or the balance of these things internally and externally, okay? And it's important for you to know this because maybe you had a rough week leading up to today, right? But knowing this information now, you can look at how it impacts you the next 3 days, and maybe you'll make a little bit wiser choices, or you'll calm down or not be so frustrated. And then you'll gain insight that's very important for you. Let's see, what else was I going to say? We have a lot of transits going on in addition to the full moon. And when I say transits, that means other planets integrating with other planets. There's a lot of oppositions going on right now. And if you think of the word opposition, what does that break down to? It's not always the positive. So there has been a little bit of tension this week. I'll say it like that. And being that it's Pisces season, it's all about self-introspection, guys. Spirituality and your spiritual body is heightened. Using your imagination and paying attention to your emotional body. Just gaining different perspectives in life and being able to use those different perspectives in your everyday experience. I call it almost like your toolbox of life. There's not enough tools you could have in there because when it comes to war, a warrior needs every single tool to be able to face anything, body, mind, and spirit, okay? And that different perspective will give you more compassion. And what does compassion do? Compassion leads to forgiveness, not only for yourself, but with other people. Having a deeper understanding is so important. Keep your mind open to that. Another transit we have going on is Mars, the planet of war, is in Aquarius, who likes to seek individuality and forward thinking. So that caused a little bit of aggression this week. And then we've got Venus square Jupiter. This is asking us to loosen the hell up. And I really want to say, metaphorically, when I said I was waking up stiff, Virgo is an earth element, so it's very hardened, and I want to shake everybody. And you may feel like, Jesus, I need to go to a massage therapist, or I'm extra sore this week, or you notice like you're being a little too uptight. Like, chill out, it's all good. Let's see. And Venus is also conjunct with Mars. So this is actually creating a lot of passion and drive in our different relationships. Now, if everything wasn't all love and kindness in some of your relationships, maybe it's showing you where there needs to be a conversation or trying to teach you something about that specific relationship to allow that compassion and forgiveness to come into play. With that that said, those are the transits that I wanted to mention. I'm going to show you a few spots in your chart that you can look at and where you have specific things to let go of. First of all, wherever Virgo is in your chart, and the house, which is also the area of life for you that needs to be the things to let go of, okay, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Also, your rising sign impacts the moon more than your sun sign. Your sun is your ego. Your rising is your main personality and how you come off to other people. So quickly, I'm going to go through the houses for all 12 zodiacs very briefly and let you know where it is impacting the rising signs. Okay, so if you are, and I'm starting with Capricorn for some reason, probably, I know why I started with Capricorn. Capricorns, it's impacting your 9th house. If you're an Aquarius rising, it's impacting your 10th house. If you're a Pisces rising, it's impacting your 11th house. If you're an Aries rising, it's the 12th. Taurus rising, it's your 1st house. Gemini rising, it's your 2nd. Cancer risings, it's your 3rd house. Leo risings, it's your 4th house. Virgo rising, it's your 5th house. And Libra risings, it's your 6th house. Scorpio risings, it's your 7th house. And Sagittarius, it is your 8th house that it would be impacting. So there's a few different areas and how it does impact everybody a little bit different, but what doesn't change is the overall Virgo characteristics, okay? How you can kind of do some good deeds to balance out the Virgo energy as well is to reflect a lot, list intentions, and that's kind of a part of your list of letting go. And some people like to do that mentally, and that's fine. Some people like to write it down because there's more power in writing and then ripping it up and getting rid of it because it is something you want to let go of, so you don't want to hold on to that energy. And then giving back and being of service like a Virgo would. And they have a strong connection with the homeless population. Oh no, I lost my Facebook group. Oh my goodness, I hope I saved my video. My phone was dying. All right, well, I'm dropping this in the video anyway, so they'll have to catch the end of it. There's nothing like being live on the spot and having something like that happen. So I'm going to leave you with, in these last few minutes, 3 questions that are going to help you as far as your letting go list, all right, for the full moon in Virgo specifically. Okay, don't forget that each full moon is a little bit different. What doesn't change is that it impacts your subconscious, that never shuts off. It impacts your emotional body. It's about letting go and getting rid of people, places, things, mindsets that are no longer serving us. And then the characteristics of the sign is what's going to never change. And it's going to impact you in different areas, okay? So the first question is, where in my life do I feel in order? Okay, because you want to reflect on that and see where you're doing really good at. And where in life do you feel really unbalanced? Okay, so there's that duality. It's also going to show you what you need to kind of check yourself on and get more disciplined with. What are you unbalanced with? Where are you feeling overwhelmed with? What are you feeling like you're a chicken with its head cut off with? Number 2, where are you seeking more structure and consistency? Okay, because this is what's going to help you to create balance. All right, notice the patterns of what you are seeking consistency with, because that means you are lacking for some reason that you need to get really honest with yourself about, of why you aren't consistent in that area of life or that chore or that task or that project, okay? And then number 3, what nourishes my body? And when I say body, I want you to incorporate your body, mind, and soul, because in the world, they teach you about your physical self, but your mental and your spiritual self are just as important, and they are also you. And then I want you to go do one of the things that you say nourishes your body. And that is that. Those are the questions that are going to help you with your release list. Then, of course, additionally, add anything that you're aware of and anything that has been coming to mind in those areas of your natal chart that I mentioned. And think of any people that are really not serving you anymore, that are really not aligned with you, that are really, really just not your energy for moving forward. And then I want you to have a great rest of your weekend, no matter where you are in this beautiful universe. And I will see you on the next energy update. Feel free to check out the website on the bottom of the screen, and my natal chart discount will continue all of March, because the next video I will be making is about the eclipses that are coming up. And the natal chart is very important to know leading up to the eclipse, both of the eclipses coming up. So I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Lots of love and light.